BBC Universe.
Hello Hoovians and welcome back to the main channel. We will be getting the microphone fixed in the future. I will be getting what I need to do before you can attach the microphone that I normally use back onto this. I need to do some research on it because I don't want to have to press that button on Premiere, whichever one you say in the UK. I don't want to have to keep pressing the word enhance, so I want to learn how to adjust volumes and settings and all this before we go straight ahead with it. So it will, the audio will get better. I just need to read up and learn about it first. So today we're doing a brand new series. So beforehand we did a series called Tom's Fact of the Day, where we had a short fact, and that was that. Tom's Doctor Who Fact of the Day. Sorry, Tom's Fact of the Day is my second YouTube channel, which used to be Tom Mason Games and many other names which I'll get into in another video in another channel. But we're now doing a brand new series called Interesting Story. This is where if I'm not got a lot of time or I've got somewhere to be, as in not got a lot of time in that moment, or generally I haven't got enough, well, okay, let's just rephrase that. I haven't got a lot of time but I still want to make a video, then I have an interesting story, which is, for example, today's video interesting story is all about the Fugitive Doctor, so the thumbnail will be an image of the Fugitive Doctor. If I've got slightly more time than once I've done the story, if the story's short, then I'll extend it and talk about more detail, but if I don't, it'll just end there. It's longer than a fact, and it's a lot more in detailed than a fact. This is Interesting Story, Episode 1, The Fugitive Doctor. The interesting story begins when they announced the brand new box set for Once and Future. The brand new Once and Future story that includes the young War Master and John Martin's Fugitive Doctor. Everyone said, can the Fugitive Doctor have their own spin-off? Can the Fugitive Doctor have their own spin-off? Can the Fugitive Doctor have her own spin-off? It's like a tongue twist this. Can the Fugitive Doctor have her own spin-off? Can the Fugitive Doctor have her own spin-off? Can the Fugitive Doctor have her own spin-off? And the Big Finish people were like, what? Are you joking me? Are you kidding me? Are you joking? Have you not been paying any attention to anything over the last 2 years? Hello? You listening? Hello? 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 I don't yet to add to that message online when they were announcing this on social media. They had to say, hang on a second lads, hang on, hold your horses everyone. Whoa, calm your cotton socks. Calm them. Right. Did you know that there's a link here, I only put a link to the link, to the Big Finish website, that shows the Fugitive Doctor spin-off, which is produced by ex-Doctor Who YouTuber, now Doctor Who fan filmmaker. As he's always been a fan filmmaker, but he used to be a more prominent Doctor Who YouTuber, now he's more of a quiz show host and some other things. He doesn't do the Who Chaser as much anymore. That's why I call him X. But he still does it. Dominic G. Martin, shall we say, he worked on that box set, so it definitely exists. People have then since put underneath that, talking about how within 2 years, we need more information, what's going on, and Big Finish are like, well, we're not going to answer that question, are we? We're not going to answer that, wait. We're not going to answer that question. We'll do what the politicians do and answer around it, or just I've answered the completely separate question that no one's actually asked. Because that's what politicians do here in the UK if no one knew. And so, it's avoiding the question at hand. And so that's interesting because it's like, Well, will we see the future Doctor again? Will we see this box set ever? Or are we just going to see this one 60th anniversary once the future that's a year late? I don't know. But I do want to see more of the future Doctor on the screen, because I think out of my favourite non-Doctor Doctors, what I mean is they were introduced later on as a separate thing, like the Morbius Doctors, the War Doctor, the Shelker Doctor, and all that. I think the future Doctor of John Martin is the one that goes, hang on a second. Even though I thought that John Hurt, seemed like a really good candidate for a Doctor, because he seemed perfect in the role. As a War Doctor, he just does it perfectly. I don't think that John Martin screams, "I'm the Doctor!" Rah! Instead of John Hurt, I have to stand there waiting for the signs to appear saying, "John Hurt is the Doctor." And that's one way to if you were to reveal, if John Hurt was going to take over from Matt Smith instead of Peter Capaldi, and they announced it at the end of an episode of Doctor Who, that would have been the greatest reveal ever. But it was the War Doctor, so it's not in the Great Doctor reveals, it's in the Great Side Doctor reveals, because the Fugitive Doctor was a brilliant way to reveal it that the Fob Watch was involved this entire time. But I do think the Fugitive Doctor is the one that goes, yes, you look and act just like the Doctor, just how I would imagine John Martin and the Doctor would act and look. It was perfect. The costume was perfect. The attitude was perfect. The TARDIS was perfect. I want to see more. I want to hear more. I just want more. More. I want more. More. Of the Fugitive Doctor. Yes. I want more in the Fugitive Doctor. I want it now. Or, well, I want it when the Once and Future episode comes out later this year. Please. I want more on TV as well. Whether or not it's a own TV spin-off or appearing in a spin-off. I just want John Martin to return to screen. Now, please. In Doctor Who, preferably. I don't care if it's any other TV show, but mainly Doctor Who and the Fugitive Doctor. Please, Russell. Come on. Anyway, guys, that is it for today's first episode of Interesting Story. See, you always start a series off with 2 episodes, really, so that you know that the concept actually works. So, our second interesting story is that the Master, played by Roger Delgado at the time, was not the act. This is a fictional story more than an actual story. That he wasn't. Reginald Delgado, obviously, a very clever man, but his character, the Master, at that time was baffled by the fact that the clangers, he thought the clangers were real. Now, this is interesting, because when you think about the clangers, you don't think, oh yes, they're going to appear in Doctor Who, aren't they? Oh yes. You do not think that whatsoever. It's not on the top of your list, it's not on the top of the radar, it's not on the top of your thought list, but the clangers have appeared in Doctor Who by the fact that Roger Delgado's Master at the time in his TARDIS turned on his TV and thought, oh look, these weird creatures. Oh, and they're actually just the clangers. And I do think, if I remember rightly, that was also featured in an episode of QI where someone, I can't remember who, I think it must be Frank Skinner, but I can't remember if that's correct, mentioned that the clangers appeared in Doctor Who, and I definitely know that the clip of that is like everywhere, because people always want to see the look on Reginald Delgado's face when he's trying to act whilst he's looking at the clangers, trying to pretend that he doesn't know that the clangers is just a children's programme. It's interesting. Very much interesting. So, there you have it. Now, this has been the short video, the short version of this series, because each episode of Interesting Story could be any length. Just like my regular videos, it could be any length. So this one, we talked about Roger Delgado's version of The Master, who what I would say on that front is he is in there in the top 10 best incarnations of The Master. It goes at number 10, no particular order. At number 10, we have top 3. Let's go top 3. Number 3, we have John Sim. At number 2, no, top 4. Sorry. I wanted to. There's a matter I want to put in there. Let's go top 4, shall we? At number 4 is John Sim. At number 3, it is Sashi Dewar. At number 2, no particular order, by the way. At number 2, it's Roger Delgado. Number 1 is Alex McQueen. Now this isn't in any particular order. You can shuffle them about all you like, but they're my favourite masters. So this story was interesting and hilarious because where else? Only in Britain we would A, have the clangers in the first place, and second of all, have them appear in a small segment in an episode of Doctor Who. Nowhere else would that happen. And I think that Alex McQueen is a fantastic Big Finish master and needs to have his TV debut. So, can we just get all the Big Finish masters on TV at some point? Or just adapt Masterful for the telly? When the next anniversary of the Master comes around, we're going to do a TV version of Masterful. Edit it slightly so you can include some of the masters, but you also could try and recast some of the masters that are sadly no longer with us by like you did with David Bradley and so forth and so on, so that we've got a wide range of masters on the special episode. We want to talk about that Tommy Gardner, who was Brian in My Parents' Aliens, was recently on the Richard Herring Square Theatre podcast. He was talking about his time on Big Finish because he was in a Peter Capaldi story on TV, but he was also on a Sixth Doctor story in audio because Richard Herring was in a Big Finish adventure for Colin Baker. So Tommy Gardner mentioned that Big Finish do excellent lunches, and apparently that's one thing everyone in the industry can tell you. They say, oh, it's a love of record, you enjoy doing it, but the one thing to remember, they do lovely lunches, which is always a good thing to find out when a audio drama company that you're a massive fan of, due to the fact that they're holding the official rights to your favourite TV programme of all time, do amazing lunches, well, that's a good thing. It's nothing to be disappointed about at all, and I'm very much happy to learn that all these amazing actors are being fed extremely well whilst recording these fantastic audio.
But
so,
when Children of Earth was being devised as what it was for Torchwood Series 3, what had happened was when they wrote the story, Freema Rajma, who at that time and still is pretty big in America, as in, I don't know if she was filming the Carrie Diaries at that point, but she was doing a lot of stuff like that in America, so she was rather busy. And at the end of the finale of the previous series of Doctor Who, they built up the fact that Mickey and Martha were an item, were together, and were saving the day in their own rights. And so what they were going to do is Children of Earth was going to include Noel Clarke and Freema Rajma, but because Freema Rajma wasn't available as Martha, you couldn't have Martha without Mickey because of what they were trying to storyline into the show, because they were trying to use their couple status from what we saw in the series finale to try and utilise that and expand the story. But because that had happened, they found out that Freema wasn't available. That meant that they had to scrap that element and rewrite the whole script, the whole show from scratch for this series to work out what on earth to do. And I would say that's a positive, really. It's because even though we liked Martha's cameo in the previous series of Torchwood, and I liked what the character was doing, and I liked the idea the character was returning and all this, but on a personal level, Children on Earth, right, and everyone knows this, so I'm not just talking to the wind, but Children of Earth is heralded, and I think I would wholeheartedly 100% agree with, is the greatest series of Torchwood there is, right? Series 4, which is, what was it, Miracle Tale, which it wasn't great, because it was, I think they were just trying to fund from America, and that didn't work in their favour. It wasn't that great and didn't work that well, so Children of Earth benefited from what they had to do due to the lack of availability of Freema Agema, which sort of benefits the show in a way, which is weird to say, but that was the actual case. So I'm very much glad that she wasn't there, because if she was there, I don't think it'd be heralded as the greatest series, because we wouldn't have the action that we had. It would be different. It'll just wouldn't be. I just wouldn't think it would be heralded as great as it was, because I think it'll still be really good and brilliant, but I just don't think we would have had the amazingness that we had from what we got. So there you have it. That is a wonderful, wonderful story about a world where Mickey and Martha appear in Torchwood. Martha has since appeared in Torchwood Audio. The Freema Agema has since appeared in the world of Torchwood again in audio form for Big Finish. So to get our appetite of what that could have been like is easy to do these days because of her audio adventure within the world of Big Finish. So there you have it. Thank you guys for watching. That was an interesting story. Ta-da!
Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel.